Hello and welcome to the rice tutorial using a rice cooker, although the same method can be used on the hob, but you will now have to know the degrees with obviously how long and the amount of rice you put in. So usually, obviously, the more rice you put in, the longer you're going to put it in for on the hob and then put pan lid over it, sorry. But today we'll show you a normal rice cooker. So this is a family rice cooker. I have three different sizes of rice cooker. So we have Humongai, which is the Ninja one. Wait, no, I'm lying. The one I got out is the Humongai one because I'm going to make a batch of 6 with this. Obviously you can make a batch of minimum 2 with that one, but as you can see in here, we've got the small rice cooker in the back. And I don't know where the rice cooker is, but that one also is like medium. But this one can cook up to like how many cups on there? 18 cups, no 10 cups, sorry, with 18 Euler number. So it's a massive rice cooker, you know. So the first step to doing this is obviously you've got to get your rice. Typically you get your rice in cups, but because we have this machine here, as you can see, no rice, we'll let it can do its magic. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Typically you would use a cup and use 6 cups. That's if you want to make it for 6 different people, because 1 cup is like 1 person basically. So you pour that into our rice cooker, and because there's a shit ton of rice basically, and as you can see, you can actually see, using the lines on the side here, you've got to be pedantic about it, although you can eyeball this. As you can see, it doesn't actually reach the 6 mark, which means your water level is going to be at the 6 mark when you fill it up. But we're not filling it up yet. We've got to do one of the most important steps, which is to wash it. So if I put my phone here, hold on, there we go, and we'll pour the water first. Make sure it's all nice and watered in there, and not like too much water. Once you get our water, typically you want to do it in warm water to wash it, because personal preference really. Right, sorry about that, got interrupted. So I've already just washed the rice once and poured it back out. This is the second run, so as you can see the water's here. You can just like push it around here with all the stuff that's on rice. And then, yeah, but like I was saying, you want to do this with warm water, because it's just like, like if I was doing it with cold water, my hands would get cold. So once you've sloshed it around in there, got rid of the yeast, like if it gets yeast around the rice, I don't know, it's just a clean rice basically. Might not even be yeast, I'm not too sure. Might just be like normal clean, because obviously it's been stored in a rice. That's kind of rice, for fuck's sake, that's what I'm supposed to do. So I typically strain my rice when I'm doing it, because I just put my hand there, and let the water seep through into the pan, as you see. You can mess up like just let it start there. But it does require a bit of work to do. And then one more time, so I do it 3 times, some people do it 2 times. Honestly, just preference. Don't do it 1 time, that's weird. So I'll do it 1 more time. Rice. So finally what I'm doing, I'm just mixing it all up. Just rubbing against the grains with the water in it. As you can see, the water starts to turn white. Once that water turns really white, actually I'm going to pour out the water. It's not because that's like bad or anything. The white water has nothing to do with it. It's just usually by the time that happens is like when you need to kind of refresh your water, because that's when you know you've done proper good mixing. So as you can see here, it's getting really white now. Almost kind of when you think of like hot glue, hot liquid glue. So once we've done that, hold on. It's kind of therapeutic doing clean rice. You can just hold the grain, the wet grains. Also, you will get rice all over your hands, but an easy way to fix that is just to go up the top of the water, and it usually comes off because the water will rinse it off. Or you just wash your hands, but then you have whatever's going on here. But we'll clean that afterwards. Always clean your sink when doing this. Just common decency. So we'll pour that into that. And then, once we've done that, I'm going to use the lines today. I'll show you the eyeball trick actually first. Although it takes a lot of using the rice cooker to eyeball it. So now, we're going to flatten this rice, we're going to flatten it. Just going to rinse off the rice insides. So, hold on. There we go. So this is what I typically do with a small rice cooker, but if you have a big rice cooker, it's recommended to use the cup side here. So obviously you have your layer of rice now, it's all nice and clean, and you have your water layer. So when you dip your finger, pinky like this, you see the first line on that pinky, you typically want to go to there, and actually, if you look at how it matches up on the side here, hello bonbon, it actually lines up with the 6 mark, which means it's roughly about there. So if you don't want to look at the lines, then you can actually just use your pinky. I'm not dipping my fingers in there though, because I don't have all with me. Anyway, let's wash my hands, and then, yeah, so if you see there, it lines up perfectly with the 6. So you can do that with your normal rice cooker, but obviously you can't dip your finger else you're putting the water up, so kind of better off using the lines. Although if you try and use the pinky method, then you can just periodically keep putting water in until you measure out the pinky line. So now we have our water in, but you can see that. Obviously if I dip my finger in now, watch. Obviously it's not exactly at the pinky line. Yep, there we go actually. So that should be fine. So that should be around about perfect, although then again, if you look at that, it's not exactly at the 6 line, which is why if I do it like this, it doesn't probably go all the way up to the pinky. Which is an interesting fact you can find. So one question by someone was, how do I get the rice not to stick? So basically, whenever you're cooking rice on a hob or a rice cooker, you'll typically stick to the sides or the bottom, or if you leave it in for a day instead of putting it in a container, typically it'll stick, and then it's really hard to get off the pan and it's really hard to clean. So what we're going to do, you can use one of 2 methods. So you can either use a tiny bit of salted or unsalted butter, but because I have unsalted today, by a tiny bit I mean a tablespoon, and then just obviously mix it in well. Don't just put slab in there because that's weird, and it won't mix well. So that is why I typically use oil, which is, you know, internet certified, because it says you can either use butter or oil, but I actually was told, I learned to use oil from my mum before I searched on the internet, and how reliable it was. But typically, you'd want a tablespoon, but because I can eyeball this, that should be enough there. Because you don't want to put too much, or it gets really greasy, really oily, and it doesn't stick. It feels weird, you know. It doesn't have the right rice texture. So then we're going to mix that oil in with our water. So we just do a little bit of mushing about. Just let it get diffuse into the water. Diffuse. God, I haven't done GCSE chemistry in a while. Or biology. It really depends what experiment you're doing. But usually chemistry, you know, water-wide. Jesse. Anyway, so once you have that oil mixed, as you can see, when you know it's mixed as well, it has all those tiny bubbles, like really tiny bubbles. You don't want big blotches, like we had at the start. You want all the oil mixed in as evenly as possible with the water. Anyway, also you don't want to make like a large mountain of rice, you want to keep it as like even as possible as well. So what I typically do is I just curve it out with my hand. Bless me. I'll edit this video down, you know. Anyway, as you can see now, hold on. There we go. The oil is now mixed in evenly with the water. Now, for the moment of truth, we slop it in. Boom. As you can see, it's on the 6 mark now because we left a tiny bit on, so that oil is actually put it up to the 6 mark. But obviously, it doesn't really matter because it's not too much oil. I left like the tiniest bit of space, so you put your rice cooker in, and now it's turned on. Close it, turn it on rice cooking, and leave it like that. And typically on most rice cookers, you'll hear it beep, beep, beep as soon as it's ready. I will cut back to when it's ready, so I might edit if you pass this down. That's about it. Yeah.
So the rice is just finished. Moment of truth. As you can see, nice batch of rice. So then we get our rice scooper, or you can just use a spoon. Or if you're on the hob, then you know, it would already be mixed anyway. This is a rice cooker only task to do. If I can find my rice spoon, there it is. So we get our little rice spoon. It's nice and bumpy, and then we should get a good mix, just so we can, because the top layer is a tiny bit drier than the bottom layer for obvious reasons. So then we mix it around, and we get this nice fluffy rice. And as you can see, it's not sticking to the sides whatsoever. Oh, my camera. Although it is a bit hot, we should let it dry a bit more. What do you think? But as you can see, it's not sticky. So yeah, that's a good nice batch of rice. So then we get our bowl, which is here. And once we get that, we'll put that next to there actually. We'll get our rice. And because we're doing a simple meal, I'll probably do a video on how to cut up a chicken. I think I've learned how to do it basically, fully now. And then I'll show you how to season a chicken. Or like some of the easier ways, like such as sachet packets and stuff. But we get our nice fish, plop it on there. And yes, I'm having battered fish with rice because we're British and I'm a bit lazy. Well, I'm half British. Well, no, I'm British, but culturally, I'm half English. So, bon appetit.